Thank you for having me. Very happy to be with you. Apologize for the delay and the problems with the connections. So I'm going to talk about Interstellar Lab and what we're doing on Earth and in space. And we'll talk a little bit about biology. I'm not a biologist, so apologize if it's not too precise. I'll do my best to speak about the science behind what we do, even though I'm passionate about science. So the goal of the company, the mission of the company is to help growing life anywhere. So preserving life on Earth and bringing it in space. And as Adriana said, we've been focusing on creating those controlled environment module. But the main reason why we've been studying plants is because, as you all know here, they are the primary source of nutrients, of bioactive, of flavor, scents, aroma, pigment, everything that is called their primary metabolite, but secondary metabolite is what we are focusing on. It's a huge market on this planet. It's called the botanical ingredients market, and it's growing very fast because everyone now wants to have natural ingredients coming from plants mostly, and no more synthetic ingredients. The good thing about those metabolites is that what trigger the number one factor that stimulate their production inside plants is what is called abiotic and biotic stress. So basically temperature, humidity, CO2, light, water, nutrients, microorganism. And if you push a little bit further, it's the two most intense stress that you can apply to a plant are the solar radiation and the lack of gravity, the change of gravity. And so, as I was saying before, all those ingredients that we find in plants are in very high demand among the food, the cosmetic, the medicinal, the nutraceutical, the pharmaceutical industry. And the point is not only about sourcing the molecule, the alkaloid, or the whatever oil structure that you need to make a essential oil. But the point is also finding new molecules. And what if we could grow plants in space and find new molecules that have tremendous application on Earth? And so the problems that all the companies here on this planet are facing is that the supply chain to access those molecules inside plants, even the ones that are known, not even the discovery one, the supply chain is completely broken. It's very hard, it's very expensive, it's not sustainable. And so the whole industry is a very high demand to have solutions where they can grow plants and play with the environmental condition so they can trigger the plant to produce a specific metabolite that they're interested in. And that's what we do. And so we call it biofarming. And so we're combining biopods, which is the first product that we released a year and a half ago, a controlled environment pods. We combine that with science. So we have a third of the company are scientists, and they focus really on the impact of the environmental condition on plant growth, but most importantly on its molecular composition, its metabolite composition. And then we use all this data that we have from our lab, from our pods, but also that we can find from existing research and existing database, existing metabolomics database. And we mix all of that with algorithms so we can find the right recipe. So it means when one of our customer will come to us and say, hey, I need, vitamin C from a plant, then we know which plant we want to look at, what's triggering the production of the vitamin C inside the plant. And then we push those conditions inside our hardware, so it's fully autonomous and recreate the environment that the plants need to produce what our customers want. So at the core of the technology that we've been developing in the biopod. And so the biopod is a product that is designed for Earth, but initially it's coming from a design that we made for a station on the moon. So in the context of the NASA Artemis program, we envisioned, it was 4 years ago, a station on the moon which was combining different inflatable structures that you plugged in together, and they will form what we call the flowers. And so you have all those pods attached together that will support human life on the surface of the moon. So that was an architectural concept that we developed with 5 people in LA when we started. And from this concept, we took one of the module and we turned it into the biopod. So we took the greenhouse module, which is 600 square feet structure. And we moved from a concept to actually a product that we manufactured in less than 18 months. And now we're building a factory to mass manufacture this guy. But to explain it, so it's 600 square feet, it's 36 feet long, 16, 17 wide and 17 tall. The membrane that you see on the picture, the pink part, is made of ETFE, inflated. So there is an overpressure of 400 Pascal inside that creates a pathogen-free environment inside the biopod. It's sealed, so you have an airlock at the entrance. And then in the white shell, which is made out of composite, and now we're starting the 3D printing it. We completely changed the manufacturing process. But inside the shell, you'll find all the hydraulic, the atmospheric system, CO2 scrubbing technology, water tanks, HVAC, humidifier, O2 generator, and all those. I call it the lungs and the stomach of the biopod is inside this white shell, and below the pink bubble, this is where you find the controlled environment. So it's designed to be very high precision. So it means you can play a lot with the temperature very quickly, very uniformed temperature and humidity setup. And the whole point is not to maintain a temperate climate, is really to play with the humidity level and the temperature and the lighting and the water stress, so we can trigger within the plants the production of those specific metabolites that we're looking for. The second part of the technology we've been developing is, of course, the AI. And as I was explaining, we're leveraging existing database. So the scientist team within the company has been focusing on gathering all the database, all the state-of-art documentation and papers, so we can really understand what is triggering this production of this secondary metabolite. For instance, for one of our customers, we study vetiver, which is a plant that is used for perfume industry, and we know it's the interaction with a specific bacteria that is triggering the scent that the plant will produce. It's a molecule that you find at the root of the plant. So it's really combining both the hardware, the software, and the knowledge of the plants. So far, inside the biopod, we've been growing 20 different species, and we're very, very good results. We're really increasing the concentration of the molecule that is of high interest for our customers. As you can see, it's mostly perfume plants. We have periwinkle, which is more on the pharmaceutical side, where we've been playing with the alkaloid. We still need to do a little bit more research on this one. But the good news is this year, after 4 years of hard work at Interstellar, we are post-revenue because we signed with our first customer, Roberte, which is a natural ingredient company. We also work with L'Oréal that we announced a few weeks ago. We have one other very big natural ingredients company that we're announcing in a few weeks. And we won NASA Deep Space Food Challenge Phase 1 and Phase 2, and now we're in Phase 3. And that's a quick video, but I think I can, let's see. I'm not sure you have the sound. Qui fait 55 mètres carrés au sol, 11 mètres de long, 5 mètres de haut, 5 mètres de large à peu près. Le concept du biopod, c'est de faire vraiment un cocon en environnement fermé.
On a travaillé dur.
Ouais, pour être les premiers, ils ont bien.
On est ravis d'être les premiers à avoir officialisé l'acquisition d'un biopod d'Interstellar, car pour nous, ça représente réellement un investissement disrupteur dans la culture et dans la recherche des plantes aromatiques. Embarquement dans le biopod. Aujourd'hui, on ouvre un nouveau chapitre de l'agronomie, de la recherche sur le vivant, sur le naturel. Et ce partenariat s'inscrit bien entendu dans le long terme avec des partenaires qui voient loin, comme Interstellar, parce que nous avons des racines profondes, mais aussi un avenir radieux pour très longtemps, j'espère.
This video was made by our first customer. It's always good when you have your customer that is doing the advertising for you, and that was the CEO of the company. Those are some of the other companies that are actually joining our different programs. We have one program where we try inside our lab, we try the impact of the environmental condition on the plant growth. And the second program, which is we install the biopod at their facility so they can grow the plant that they want. They're very happy about what they're getting. The most important for them is the sustainable and local production of what we're doing, and developing exclusive and unique bioactives that they can use, they can commercialize. That's another picture that's inside the pod. This time we're doing multiculture. Right now we only focus on one species, one climate. This was just for demonstration, but we grow a wide variety of plants. Now we are scaling the production of the biopod. So we just got some robots starting manufacturing and 3D printing the shell of the biopod. Hopefully by the summer, the first biopod factory will be built. This is what we're doing right now. And so I've been speaking about Earth, but it's a very important part to that we have an Earth business, because without the Earth business, we will not be able to support the research that we're currently doing for space. And so, as I said, the goal of the company is really to understand here and build a structure here so we can grow the plants and we can unleash the power of nature on this planet, but also on other planets. And so what is interesting is in our product development, it's exactly the same thing that we're doing. It's a controlled environment hardware. We use the same software. We access the same database of plant species, and all the data that we'll gather from our space experiments will also fed the database of plants that we have. And so the plan is by 2025 to have our first system in low Earth orbit. There are 2 programs that we've been working on. By 27, have a biopod designed for lunar environment validated, but not installed on the moon. The thing is that we have I'll show after. There's going to be small pods that will install on the surface of the moon before putting a biopod, and we want to be ready for 2030. We don't have a design that is validated yet to put a greenhouse on Mars, but it's part of our roadmap. Our space station offers, so as I said before, we designed for NASA Deep Space Food Challenge a system that we call Nucleus. And so Nucleus is made of 6 growing quarks. Those quarks are where we can grow the mushrooms, the insects, the vegetables in the microgreen. And then we have 3 system quarks where we control the purification of the water, the electric system and all the sensors, and the air system as well. And so the Nucleus is like a biopod divided and put into cubes that you can put into a space station. So we had requirements from a NASA Deep Space Food Challenge regarding a certain size, a certain weight, and the main objective was to cover the food gaps for the astronauts. So how can we grow? How can we provide nutrients that will be missing for long-term manned mission, and at the same time have minimum resource, maximum output, no waste. So that's why we introduced the mushroom and the insects, so we can have a better balance in terms of the O2 and CO2 generation and adaptation, and also how we can recycle the unedible part of the plants by giving them to the insects and also feeding the mushrooms. The prototype is at Kennedy Space Center now. The second one's going to be installed in Ohio by the summer, and then it will be tested by analog astronauts. This is a vision of, I don't have the video. I think I put the wrong presentation. But that's how we envision it installed inside the station. So really having like this square mini biopod, if I may say, inside space stations. And same principle, everything is like AI driven, automated. The structure will recognize by itself what's growing inside and just adapting the condition. You'll find many videos online. Everything that we did with NASA is public and available. You can find on YouTube and on NASA website. The mission that we just announced recently is actually 2 weeks ago, is a lunar mission. So we secured a flight on Starship SpaceX first commercial flight to the moon, and we secured with Astrolab. So Astrolab is building a lunar rover, and inside the lunar rover, they will carry different payloads. And so we'll be part of one of the payloads that they will carry on this first commercial flight. And as you can see, the small picture on the on the right side of the screen. What we're building, so Little Prince, is a box kind of similar to what we've been developing for NASA. The main difference is that is almost fully transparent, so we can see through. The reason why we're doing something transparent is a pure design and design poetic philosophical approach, because part of the requirements for this mission that we give ourselves is to take a picture of the flower growing on the surface of the moon with the Earth on the background. So we really do want the transparency. And so that's going to make it harder on the engineering side, but we're pretty sure we're going to use glass for this one. It's just how we're going to control the climate and the temperature inside that is a little bit tricky. So it's an autonomous self-supporting pod, small pod, 16U, and inside which we will recreate the condition. We'll have LED, we'll have a passive watering system because we don't want to use too much power. It's going to be lithium battery. It's going to be running on battery. We're exploring putting solar arrays, but we're not sure. And we still haven't released the preliminary design review. So it's early stage, but we just announced that the mission's been secured. It's called Little Prince, like the book that you might have heard of. And we have great new partners as well coming on board this mission. This is a mission that is designed to inspire, but also it's a scientific mission where we want to study and measure the impact of the lunar environments on the plant phenotype and the metabolite composition. This is something that we are really interested in, is the metabolite composition and how the environmental condition affect the gene expression and the phenotype of the plants. That's a short video, just a teaser. Very short teaser, but many more information coming soon. That's us. That's part of the team. There are some people missing here. We have 10 more people joining in January. We have two locations. One southeast of Paris, 25,000 square feet lab and facility. Another one at Kennedy Space Center, and we are opening San Francisco and LA. LA is going to be in May, June, and San Francisco in January when we have our business team. Feel free to reach out. I'll see all the emails going through contact. And if you want to join, if you're interested in what we're doing, don't hesitate. We'll try to reply as fast as we can. We're a little bit busy, but we do our best.